Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the importance of newsletters and why I think all architects and architecture students should start one. So to start, I think it's best to kind of explain the benefits of starting a newsletter and why all of you should start it now. For architects, it could be to display your work, to build your relationships, and to even grow a community. Because if you're going to be kind of creating your own practice, or even just to kind of project your own work out there, you need a community, you need an audience that's going to be following your work, that's interested in the style of the projects you're working on. So to kind of build up a newsletter, a monthly or weekly or bi-weekly, something like that, something regular that's going into people's inboxes and they can click on and kind of have like an updated copy of what's going on with your work, or if anything else is going on like content-wise in your profile. And for architecture students, I think it's even more important to start a newsletter because, as like myself included, as we're kind of entering the profession, now's the time for us to kind of be expanding on our CVs, expanding on our portfolios. You know, there's much more to us than just the things that we've written down in our resumes, or the things that or the projects that we've worked on during university. There's so many other things that we've done that we can't kind of concise down into one PDF document. So even having a newsletter to kind of a weekly or like a monthly kind of update for people and an audience and a community that you've grown, I think is extremely important. Because if you're an architect, you can be projecting your work out there through the monthly newsletter, and that can bring greater awareness and build up your target audience much more. And even if you don't want to grow your audience through like a client base, you can still grow your audience and your community through colleagues, peers, and even people that you could be working with in the future. So not necessarily people that you're going to be working for, but people that you're going to be working with. And that's equally as important, I think. And if like through an architect, there's so many more things and so many other professions that you can go into, and God knows right now in the current climate in the industry, you can be kind of cross-collaborating through teaching, through working in other industries, not just architecture and design based. So building up your monthly newsletter and putting out content out there is to your benefit much more than you think. And for architecture students, now's the time for us to be doubling down on the content that we produce, not just for the sake of it, but for ourselves. You know, we have our CVs, we have our portfolios, but there's much more that we can be doing. We can be providing monthly updates on the work that we're doing during university and even the work that we're doing outside of the university. Because we know when we apply for practices, they ask for a small PDF size, no bigger than however many megabytes, gigabytes, and not more than 20 slides. But if your university work is concise to 20 slides, then that leaves really no room at all for all the other things that you've been doing outside of university. So I think putting that monthly newsletter out, providing an updated context on where you're at and the other things that you're working on is extremely beneficial. So the next kind of section is like how to start a newsletter, and people can use sites such as MailChimp, Substack, and some others. But for me personally, I really want to just stick with the LinkedIn newsletter, because I believe that if you've already grown a community on one platform, why not kind of double down on the features that platform provides? You know, Instagram is through Reels, and there's obviously, you know, people have, as much more recently through the Reels, kind of translating that into TikTok. But for LinkedIn, when they've released this new like kind of article feature, I think it's really important to use that. You've already built a community, and if you haven't, then start building your community. And from that, you kind of have an audience, you have connections, whether it's through your peers, colleagues, or other people in the industry that you've connected with. Starting that newsletter and providing posts on top of that, it's just a great way to put yourself out there. And not just yourself, but the content that you're providing. Because I believe that information is so important to share it out there, not keep it to yourself. So why not already use a platform that you're already utilizing the features of and just double down on it? I think it makes complete sense, and by the time you know it, the amount of people that subscribe to your newsletter will grow even more than you think it will, and it's going to lead you to many more opportunities in the future. And I think going off that, the next thing is to kind of know your target audience. Know your style of writing and what you actually want to produce, and like kind of the content that you want to put out there. Who are you doing it for? Is it going to be something that you're putting out there yourself, for yourself, like, and for like-minded people? Or are you creating a newsletter to put out more information about the current industry or the given industry or topic or niche that you want to discuss about? I think that's really important, because we can always get a bit, I don't want to say deluded, but we can get kind of confused in the fact that we want to create a newsletter. Okay, we have a topic in mind that we kind of want to talk about, but how do we then go about delivering that? And what do we talk about? So for me, when it's creating a newsletter, I created the master plan on LinkedIn that I've linked in the description below that you can click on. And that's more about my opinion on the industry today. And you can see already through like the kind of the language and the text format that I've used, how I'm trying to express myself through the articles. And they're only like 4-5 minute reads, so they literally don't take that long, but just a monthly update on my kind of, it's not even about me personally, it's about kind of my thoughts on the industry as I already said. But I think everyone kind of bringing their own unique style and their unique approach to the newsletter would just create a much more enriched platform for all of us to kind of connect with. And that's where communities grow, that's where the audience increases. So find the topic, the niche that you want to talk about, and then truly identify and start working on how you want to kind of attack it. And I think that's pretty much how I kind of thought about it before I started the newsletter. And now that I've started it, it's become a much more enjoyable process because like, I know what I'm talking about, I know how I want to deliver it. So every month when it's like trying to think of a topic for me to discuss about for my headline, it becomes much easier. And I think you can have so much more fun with it. And I think, you know, the final topic that I want to discuss about in this kind of quick video about kind of how and why to create a newsletter for architects and architecture students is a kind of, I don't want to say tips, but kind of things that I believe could lead on to your newsletter becoming very successful. And for me, it's firstly about being consistent with the schedule, about when you're going to upload and making sure the audience is aware of that. And secondly, and probably most importantly, it's the material. What are you talking about? How are you delivering that? As I've already spoken before, but it sounds like common sense, but people are instantly drawn to the headline. People are instantly drawn to the quality of the images that you're using. People are drawn to the way that they are reading your text. Are you writing it in the way that you want it to be read? And that is difficult. It's difficult to kind of translate your ideas into text and expect people to kind of have that same emotional response when they're reading it. But once that kind of clicks, and once you find that balance and how you're able to translate it, I truly think that that's the most kind of important way to deliver the newsletter. And if it's coming from you, then of course it's going to be your authentic self. If you're adding humor to it, if people that you've already built a community with know that's your style of work and know that's kind of you as a character, and if you're able to kind of convert that into like a digital format of yourself, then I really think that you'll be onto something. And as the community grows, the more subscribers you get to the newsletter, the bigger opportunities through, whether it's going to be for sponsorships, job opportunities, etc. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what more else to say apart from make sure it's you coming across and not kind of an unauthentic version of you. So to conclude, I believe that, you know, starting a newsletter is extremely important for architecture students and architects. The value it's bringing, not just for you, but for the practice that you're doing. And I don't mean architectural practice, I mean the practice of being a creative. Make sure you're kind of feeding this loop into the content you're producing, and you'll see that the newsletter will bring so much more benefits to you than you actually think. So thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope I brought some value through the tips and the kind of sections that I've already spoken about in this video. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.